Hey guys, it's Felice, totally awake, and I'm back with another video. If you are new, welcome. And if you are an older subscriber and viewer, thanks for coming back. I know I've been a little hiatus lately, and that's just because I've been kind of busy. Been doing a little bit of overtime, and I've also just had my kids' birthdays. I had my daughter's birthday last month. My youngest daughter, she turned 4. So right now I have 2 4-year-olds that aren't twins. And then my son's birthday was just over the weekend. He turned 8, my big boy. And then my daughter's birthday is next month, along with my anniversary, my 10th anniversary. So I'm really excited about that. And yeah, like I said, I just want to give you guys an update and let you know some other things that's been going on. Sometimes I do get kind of hesitant to make videos, especially if I am in contact with my parents, and particularly with my mom. I don't want her to feel like, I'm going to talk about her, or, I don't want her to feel attacked in any kind of way. I already have a recorded call up. Of a conversation that we've had. So, I let it be known before. I don't have any more recorded calls or anything, and I definitely put that one up to prove a point, and I felt like the community needed it. But I'm not saying anything bad, and even in that video, hey, it is what it is. It was a recorded phone call, and what was said is what was said. You can go back and check that video out if you haven't. Secretly recorded call between my indoctrinated JW mother and I. But this, I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. And I just want to say anything that I say about anybody, in my life, you're in my life. And I have a YouTube channel, and, it is what it is. I'm going to talk, um, and I'm going to expose this Watchtower, this cult, for what it is. And that's my intention, is to expose the cult with my different um, stories and experiences that I am sharing with you all. So, um, uh, it's been football season. So, well, my son is my husband. He always has our son in some type of sports, basketball, football, like seems like all year. You know, the pandemic slowed them down just for a little bit, and then they were right back at practice. And the season started. They've been having a good season, and my dad has been coming to the games. He's actually been to a few games, and I've been so glad to see him. He's really big in sports too. He's been a coach since I was a little girl, and he was still coaching little boys. But he took this season off, so he's more available to come to his grandson games, and he knows a lot of people, and the older people that's parents and played for him that he see all the time. And then he has the younger kids that has played for him. Some of them got bigger, and some of them just was playing on his team just this last season. So, my dad and my husband definitely have that in common. My husband is a coach, my dad is a coach, and they love sports. So yeah, we've been doing that. So I've been seeing my dad, and that's been really cool. Which, like I've mentioned before, I do keep in contact with my dad. You know, um, yeah. So, um, with my mom, I hadn't really talked to her or anything like that. Even when my uncle passed away, that was back in May. I hadn't really. I saw her then, gave her a hug, kiss. She didn't mention the video, the secretly recorded call or anything, which I'm sure at that time she probably had got wind of it, seen it, whatever. And yeah, I hadn't spoke with her since then. There was no phone conversations or calling each other or anything, but she did reach out to me, just in the last few weeks, since my dad's been coming to the games and stuff. And she just reached out to me, and she called me, and she told me she was at JCPenney's, and if I wanted to come really quick, they were having a sale. If I wanted to get the kids some stuff, she could put it on JCPenney cards. But I told her I was working overtime. I work from home, so I wouldn't, I would have to pass up on the offer right now. And she just told me, I can go online. She wound up calling me back and telling me I can go online and, see what I wanted for the kids. Um, yeah. So, hadn't done that yet, but I definitely appreciate my mom calling me and offering to do things for her grandkids. I love my mom. Uh, that did break a lot of ice. Before she got off the phone with me, the second time when she called me back and told me I could, go online and get the kids some stuff, she said, "Hey, is this call being recorded?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Helpful," and hung up. Yeah, helpful was like a play word. Like my auntie used to wear it out. She's calling everybody a helpful. I was just a helpful growing up. But anyway, we're gonna talk about some other name calling in this video as well. Because as I'm going to name the title, it's just going to be an update, and I also want to do a little bit of story time. So that broke the ice, just her calling. So then the next weekend, um, uh, after the game, my dad didn't come to that game. After the game, I called my mom, and I'm just like, hey, and she's kind of whispering, and she's like, she's having her Zoom meeting. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, never mind. She's like, well, what? And I'm like, well, I was just going to, bring the kids by really quick to see you, to see everybody or whatever. And she's like, well, we just come on and stop by or whatever. So I came and I stopped by. Um, my dad opened the door and stuff. Everybody, my mom and my grandma was up front listening to the Zoom meeting. I think right before I came, maybe they lost connection somehow. And yeah, coincidentally. And yeah, I saw my grandma, because my grandma, I was raised all in the house, all of us, my grandma and my granddad died when I was just a young baby, just 8 months old. We all moved in the house with my grandma, which my dad and my granddad had built on to make it bigger. And before he died, and we all moved in there. So I was raised with basically three parents. I had like a in in-home nanny, whatever you want to call it. I mean, my grandma used to be cooking meals. My mama would come home and everything would be clean cooked. It was crazy. Everybody used to be cooking in the house. My dad is a good cook. But anyway, I went in there and it was a really nice visit. The kids got to see their grandparents and their great grandma, um, and it was a really nice visit. It was a really sweet visit. We didn't talk about any religion. Once my son started to ask them why Jehovah doesn't let them celebrate birthdays, and they started to kind of try to explain, you know, well, it's the Bible principles and pagan, and I kind of just cut it off and asked my mama who did her hair because it was cute, and because we don't want to get into all of that. I don't want them explaining nothing about pagan. There's a lot of stuff that's pagan. The days of the week are pagan. I mean, come on, wearing a wedding ring is pagan. Come on, uh, what am I thinking about? The pinata. You hit the pinata. They say that's pagan, and then in some of the magazines they say that it wouldn't be Christian like to do it, but then I believe in another magazine that said it's okay, but that's just like them the flip flop stuff. But anyway, we're not gonna get too far on that. Um, so yeah, anyway, with my 10th anniversary coming up, it does bring up some memories. So I kind of want to just have a little bit of story time. And again, I just want to stay as transparent as possible with my viewers. And because, I think it's helpful just to know, like, other people's story and struggle and coming out and what the different things that they went through coming out and waking up, and it's not to hurt anybody. It's to expose the Watchtower and it's to stay transparent as possible. I almost for a moment, I didn't even want to talk about, oh, me going to see my mom because, I want to, that's, it was special to me. I don't get to see my mom. My kids don't always see my mom. And, I don't want her to feel like, oh, I'm outing her just because she's seen her grandparents, or, I mean, her grandkids or anything like that. But at the same time, if you into something where you feel like you're being outed just because you had a nice, short, sweet visit with your your daughter and your grandkids, then something wrong with that over there. But anyway, yeah, so it's my 10th anniversary coming up, and yeah, it brings back some memories. We're actually planning a trip to San Diego for next month, Cali, so I'm really excited about that. Um, yeah, so let me see here. I'm just trying to gather my thoughts here. So I want to talk about some things, and I want to talk about when I first met my husband's parents, and um, I spoke before in my videos how me and my husband, we did get married fairly quickly. When I met his parents for the first time, I was actually already his wife. So we were boyfriend and girlfriend for a short amount of time, long distance. And, he went on deployment, and we decided while he was on deployment, hey, when you come back, we're going to go ahead and just get married. He wanted me to move and be there waiting on him and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not doing none of that, especially if I'm not your wife. And we just decided to just go ahead and get married. And like I spoke about before, like in my first video, my parents were for it. They didn't want me sitting with my boyfriend. So they felt it was better for me to go ahead and get married. Even though we didn't know each other for a long time, they were still all for it. Me and my husband, it was like love at first sight. So we were young. We were just gonna do it. I wasn't gonna move, 1,700 miles away in Colorado, without being his wife. So we did the darn thing, tied the knot. But yeah. So we got married, and got married in a near in Georgia, nearby Jacksonville, because that's the only place we could do it all in that one day, really quick. And then once we did that, we went to Kansas, where his parents were stationed, Kansas City, Missouri, where his parents were stationed at the time. They're all from Chicago, his parents, my husband, but that's where they were stationed. And just imagine meeting your mother and father-in-law for the first time, and you're already their daughter-in-law. It was crazy. It was crazy, especially with me being a Jehovah's Witness. So, some funny stuff happened. So, okay, I meet him, and he did not want to tell them until we got there. And hey, I was like, okay, because of course he knew they would try to talk him out of it, and he kind of had his mind made up. We were going to do what we were going to do, and he no, I don't want to hear what my parents got to say. I'll deal with everything when we get there. So, we got there. Um, he wound up having to tell his parents. So, you know, his dad's reaction, because he picked us up from the airport and everything, he was there first. We was there at the house with him for a little while first. So I remember my father-in-law saying, and I love my father-in-law, but I remember him saying, when he told him, he was like, yeah, Dad, me and Felice got married. And he's like, what? And he's talking to him, and I remember him going on to say, when you go and pick out a car at the at the in the parking lot, when you go in and buy the car from the dealer, you don't just pick the car off the lot and just drive it home, do you? You test the car, you test drive it, you drive it around, you see if you like it. And I'm like, I'm not a car. And I'll never forget that. It was funny. It's really funny now when I think back to it. I'm not a car. But I definitely understand where he was coming from. Just it's his young son. We just got married. Hey, he's like, you guys, you don't even really know each other. But hey, couldn't nobody tell us nothing. And here we are 10 years later, still standing strong. So hey. Yeah, 10 years next month. Can't wait. So yeah, so that was his reaction. And then when my mother-in-law found out, when he had to tell her, he's like, it's my father-in-law was like, yeah, tell your mama what you did. So he had to tell her the same thing. Well, me and Felice got married. What? What did you say? Me and Felice got married. What? I know you didn't. You didn't even ask for my blessing. Oh yeah, by the way, I have on my bless me shirt today. And again, if you see my first video, then you know what line I'm talking about. Bless me. Don't nobody tell me what I can't say. You know what I'm talking about? Jehovah's Witnesses can't even say bless you to nobody, but bless me. Because I almost sneezed in my first video. And it just came out, just bless me. I can say what the crap I want to say now. But anyway, back to the story. But she's like, you didn't even ask for my blessing. You know, so they were upset. But they got over it. They love me. They love me now, of course. But I remember while I was there, you know, my mother-in-law, everybody was getting ready for church. And it was, of course, it was a Sunday. And I'm like, telling my husband, I can't go to church. I can't go to church because, you know, I still was a Jehovah's Witness. I still had the Jehovah's Witness beliefs, and believing that the only place I can go to worship is the Kingdom Hall, because that's the only place that's teaching the truth. So why would I go any place else but the Kingdom Hall? I'm not about to do that. That's Satan up in there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I was taught. They worshiping Satan. They're worshiping false gods. So I couldn't. I told him I can't go to church. So he had to go and tell his mom. And when me and my mother-in-law talk about it now, she tells the story the best. It's so funny. But, you know, he went in there and told her, um, everybody's getting ready for church now. And of course, you know, her son is home from the military. He's overseas right now. He's home from deployment. Of course, they want to be there as a family. Everybody's there. It's her son. This is his new wife, you know, but we couldn't do that. We couldn't do that because me. I had to be the party pooper, right? The party pooper, the Jehovah's Witness, right? So um, he had to tell her, Mom, um, police, she can't, she's not going to church. What? What you mean she's not going to church? Yeah, she don't do all that. What you mean she don't do all of that? So that was a whole nother big thing. And it was really, really hurtful to my mother-in-law that I couldn't go to church. And now that I even think about it, now it hurts me because I love my mother-in-law so much. And, you know, she's just been so kind, and, you know, she's really helped me a lot. And, you know, I hate that I couldn't just give that simple gesture. Just going to church is okay. I wasn't about to be attacked by demons or anything. It's okay to have went to a church, a regular Baptist Christian church. You know, is okay. It wasn't a house of horrors or a house of demons. It was nothing like that. You know, so just that's kind of like the dynamics, though, when you have somebody that's not a Jehovah's Witness that marries somebody that is a Jehovah's Witness, or that carries these beliefs. Even if they're not strong in it, they can be physically out, mentally in. But you know, you'll go through these things because they have all of that. I had all of that propaganda in my head, just thinking that I can't do this, I can't do that. And I'm a grown woman. I'm a newly married woman, and I have the doctrine of the Jehovah's Witness, the doctrine of 8 men, you know, stuck in my head, telling me what I can and can't do. So that's just terrible, you know. And it really makes me just think about, you know, like I said, my mother-in-law, she did help me a lot. And, you know, a lot of times I can't really, well, when I was waking up, I would come back and be trying to tell my mom stuff, or, you know, just telling her how I feel. And she would just get so upset, and she would just say, where are you learning this stuff? Or who have you been talking to? And, you know, I would never want to tell her, you know, where some of my first seeds got planted. But now I'm gonna say it on this video because I'm proud, and I know that the people that planted these seeds, they love me. They are my family, and they helped me to escape this dangerous cult that's keeping me from my mom, my blood mom, the mom that gave birth to me, that's keeping me from her right now because of these doctrines, these dangerous beliefs that tear apart families and everything else that it does. Y'all know, if hey, I got other videos on it. It's a whole bunch of information on how destructive and dangerous this cult of the Jehovah's Witnesses is, you know, and how it tears apart families. We're not even going to get into it on this video, all of that right now. But, you know, Some of my first seeds were planted by my husband, my mother-in-law, you know, and, you know, from the seeds they planted, I went from there. But yeah, after a series of events took place, it did. My husband was the first person to start Googling Jehovah's Witness and trying to find out, okay, what is this all about? What is this stressing my wife in? Because this is weird, once things start happening, and it just wasn't normal. It just wasn't normal. So it would make somebody that got any sense start to Google stuff. So no, it wasn't me that first started to Google stuff. You know, series of events happened and took place. But I remember, my husband kind of looking at some stuff and figuring out some stuff, and then me just being his wife. Well, what did you see? I'm not gonna be like, well, I don't want to look at that. No, well, what they talking about? And that's when I was first looking at the videos, like, yeah, that's true, but it's still the right religion, though. But then I start looking at that stuff for myself, because there's no way that he can break the stuff down. He don't know everything that these people talking about, but because I was born in it, I know exactly what these people talking about. And yeah, that is messed up. And yeah, that ain't right. And they did say this. And what? They changed it right here? I can go to jwfacts.com and see where they flip flop. They used to teach this and now they teach this. Are you kidding me? He didn't know the depths of all of that. You can only wake yourself up. You have to do your own research. But yeah, some of the first seeds was planted by the people that I love the most. I'll never forget, my mother-in-law was the person that told me, because Jehovah's Witnesses try to teach you, well, you can't, if you're not going to the Kingdom Hall, if over here with Jehovah, if you're not active Jehovah's Witness, then, you know, um, God doesn't hear your prayers. And my mother-in-law had to tell me, hey, I don't know who told you that or where you got that from, but that's a lie. You can always come to your Heavenly Father and pray. He always hears your prayers. The Bible says that He will never leave you or forsake you. He's talking about me. He's talking about you. So, then I start praying, and prayer works. I can really, you know, I'm not like, it's a lot of stuff in the Bible that's kind of like, I'm just not getting, I'm not understanding. I don't even really like the way it's put in the Bible. But I am still a spiritual person. I definitely believe in God. I definitely believe in miracles. That's my daughter's middle name, my older daughter. That'll be 5 next month. Um, that's her middle name. She was born dead for 9 minutes, you know, no breathing, no heartbeat. So she's definitely a miracle baby, and I pray really hard, and I definitely felt like our prayers were answered, um, and just helping her to come through and get out of that NICU. But anyway, she when she told me that, I began to just pray again and have my own personal relationship, and spiritual relationship, with my Heavenly Father. And I just want to go in to talk about some of the things that built up to make my husband even want to. Because first it's just like, okay, Jehovah Witness, okay, you believe in God, right? Okay. He didn't really know, until later on. And he started to do research, you know. But a few things led up to him starting to do research. And 3 of them I wrote down that came to mind. And one I remember is when he was called a Canaanite by my family. I can't really go into detail on the story on YouTube here, but he got into it with my cousin. And, they got into a little altercation, had some words, um, got real heated between them. But my husband was to blame. And my cousin, which, he's my aunt's son, and he also grew up Jehovah's Witness, stuff like that. Um, you know, my husband was made to blame when my cousin was definitely the one that was in the wrong. But because my husband wasn't a Jehovah's Witness, the blame was just put on my husband. It made it seem like it was my husband's problem, and he was called a Canaanite. My auntie, his mom sided with her son, and began to call my husband a Canaanite, put in my grandma's head. She even had words flying out her mouth about, you know what you did. You married a Canaanite. And, they would probably be offended by me telling this story and saying that, oh, we called your husband a Canaanite. That sounds like a bad word. It is a bad word. My husband's like, I don't know what that means, so I'm going to take it as disrespect. But to a Jehovah's Witness, and you telling somebody that somebody is a Canaanite, and you're getting involved with a Canaanite, hey, you married a Canaanite. That that's not, those aren't pleasant words. So I even went and I started to look up the word Canaanite when I was thinking about what I wanted to share with you guys today. I started looking up the word Canaanite, and the first thing that came to my mind was the story of Dinah, right? And I remember learning this story in my book of Bible stories, which is now just kind of gruesome when you think about it. And we were kids learning all these gruesome Bible stories, right? Okay, but the story of Dinah, she's Jacob's daughter, and it talks about how Abraham want his son Isaac to marry a girl. Did Abraham want his son Isaac to marry a girl from Canaan? No, he did not. Did Isaac and Rebekah want their son Jacob to marry a Canaanite girl? No, they did not. Do you know why? Now, this is from jw.org. I just Googled, you know, I Googled Canaanite, jw.org, Dinah. So, and this came up right up on jw.org. So, yeah. So it's saying no, they didn't, these parents did not want their children to marry these Canaanite people. And it was because these people in Canaan worship false gods. So that's what a Canaanite is. Somebody who worship false gods. People who worship false gods. Okay? They were not good people. Canaanites are not good people to have as husbands, wives, and they weren't good people to have as close friends. So we can be sure that Jacob would not be pleased that his daughter was making friends with these Canaanite girls. Now, mind you, back up. This is my same family that encouraged me to marry my husband, okay? But now, because he's got in an altercation with another family member that's a Jehovah's Witness, oh, he's a Canaanite, okay? So, so then it goes on to tell the story in the Bible about Dinah, and how she was making friends with Canaanite girls, and Shishkim, Shichem, I forgot how you pronounce that name. Um, Basically, he lied he lied down with the woman. Um, he he forced her to lie down with him. So, um, you see how bad Canaanite people is. I mean, they're rapists. They're not good to, um, they're not good company. They're not good husbands or wives, right? They worship false gods, and they are into all kind of stuff. That's what this article makes it seems like. So they were calling my husband a Canaanite, saying, "You know what you did wrong. You married a Canaanite." So it was my fault because I brought Canaanite into the home, into the family, and now he's gotten into it with our JW family member. No, because no. And then if y'all just know my cousin, he been he probably disfellowship. I think he's still disfellowship right now. Okay, like I'm not gonna just like I ain't gonna get on here and just bash him. But we don't have a relationship. We haven't, especially ever since he pulled that stunt. And that was years ago. When me and my husband first moved down here, when I was pregnant with my son. My son just turned 8. So it was just crazy, and it was crazy because I grew up so close to my cousin. They lived like only 2 houses down from us, and that was like one of the only places I could go, right down the street to my auntie house because she was a Jehovah's Witness and stuff. So it was no problem for me to just always go over there. And then I had a bunch of other cousins that she had adopted and stuff like that. So, um, it was just fun to go around there, get out the house. And when my cousin, though, I did a lot for him. I, I was really a great big cousin to him, more like a sister. He would come to my house, before I married my husband, when I had my apartment, he would come over, chill, get away from everything, and you gonna really do my husband like that? Like, I used to be your scapegoat, your your go-to. I'm talking about give him money, whatever he needed, just a great big sister to him. Anyway, um, that happened. Them calling him a Canaanite, and it was, of course, that would want to make somebody be like, okay, what in the world is a Canaanite? I'm being called a Canaanite, you know. So yeah. Then I'm gonna go on and talk about something else. Well, still just the few things that would make somebody want to start to Google search their wife's weird religion, right? So um, also when I was well, I'll save that for last. Okay. I told the story about in my first video how when I went to talk to the elders in the congregation about a previous relationship, um, that I had, they would not let my husband back there with me. They told me that that won't be possible. When I told them that I was on my way to the meeting that I had set up with them because I'm trying to get myself right, what like my grandma said, get myself right with the elders, and that's why she didn't come to my baby shower when I was pregnant with my son. Um, so yeah, they wouldn't let him back there to that meeting. And I went ahead and went, but it really started to shake some stuff up, you know, and got me to do research after that, because it got my husband to start looking at stuff and everything, but I'm still thinking, no, okay, it's still the right religion. So of course that would make somebody feel like, what kind of religion is this? Where my wife is telling you that she wants me to come back to this back room with her that you're meeting her in, and you are some group of men meeting with my wife, and you telling me it's impossible for me to go back there. So yeah, that's weird, you know. That's weird because I wasn't telling them nothing that I ain't told my husband. So what do you what? It's nothing to hide here. There's nothing to hide here. So um, he should have been allowed back there. And later on, I was also told that when my mom, because I told, hold on, baby, I told my mom that really bothered me. So she went on to say, well, she went on to talk to another one of the elders and hold on, baby, hold on, go in there, hold on. So she went on to talk to one of the elders, and they said, well, why wasn't he let back there? Which my mom is thinking that she's telling me this to comfort me, but to me, it just kind of stirred me up more because it's just like, what do you mean? They're not even on the same page. So one elder told me my husband couldn't come back there while I'm trying to confess my sins, my previous sins that don't have nothing to do with nothing. This is old, but y'all want me to do this to try to get myself back right in the congregation. Okay, whatever. So when she told me that, you know, another elder saying something totally different, it just really continued to rub me the wrong way. And made me want to continue to do research. So, yeah, so one of the last things that happened is when I was pregnant with my second child, my daughter, and, you know, me and my husband kind of got into a little bit of friction, just arguing about this shirt that he had went and got really quick from Old Navy. He's thinking, okay, I'm going to go to the mall, get my son, because my son is like 2 at this time. And he's thinking, okay, I'm about to get my son something nice to wear to his mom's baby shower, and I'll be right back. So he comes home with this outfit, and the shirt has a skull on it. It's cute, but it's a black shirt with a skull on it. So, of course, me still having this Jehovah's Witness mindset, and this is already after my, you know, this is already time after my husband couldn't come back with me and all of that, and I had already begun to do research, but I'm still not woke all the way yet, because I'm still like, it's still the right religion. Even after I felt like I don't want to go back there and talk to them no more, I still was feeling like not all the way woke. I'm pregnant with my daughter. The majority, my huge awakening came after I had my daughter, like I said, because she needed several blood transfusions, and that did it. But anyway, one of my most major awakenings anyway. was that, her needing blood, and just the thought of me have been in a Jehovah's Witness mindset and being upset or wanting to sue because the doctors was going to do it anyway. My non-Jehovah's Witness husband was going to allow it to be done anyway. But me just thinking, oh my God, if I would have been upset, I would have been angry, I would have been feeling guilty had I been in this Jehovah's Witness mindset, thinking that no, my daughter didn't need blood, even if it was a life-saving blood transfusion. Just let whatever happens, happens. No, 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 no. That would have been disgusting of me to think. Oh my gosh, I can't even go on. Okay, but anyway, I know I'm like all over the place right now, but I'm just trying to get this story out. And yeah. So I got upset, but it's just crazy how it can just really just have you all jacked up in your marriage and have you arguing about stuff that's so petty. Like I'm upset because my husband went and got a nice cute shirt, but because it had a skull on it, I'm concerned because my mom was a part of this baby shower and she helped plan it, and Jehovah's Witnesses were invited. So I didn't want to offend any of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Not God, but the Jehovah's Witnesses. Which in turn is, they think that it's offending God. It was just a cute shirt. It's innocent, just petty. So, those things like that just, and that's not even just the only thing. And that's what I could think of right now. But just imagine little things like that just in your marriage, just because my head is just filled with all this propaganda and all of this. No, 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 you can't do this, you can't do that, and how it can really affect a marriage, you know. So yeah, guys, that's my update. That's my story time. I gotta get to work now, so I'm not gonna make this too much longer. But thank you for listening. Bless me, bless everybody. I hope you're having a blessed day. And I will see you on my next video. I actually had recorded a video, um, just kind of talking about, just Anthony Morris and his whole little shenanigans with the match and everything, and my kind of reaction on that. But I was trying to edit it, and I wound up putting a virus on my computer. I don't even know how we didn't have the virus protection. My husband wound up having to put it on there really quick. I don't know what happened. And I don't know what I'm doing, guys. So this video is about to be raw. Hopefully I can edit that a little bit, and get it up. It won't have those clips in there, but hey, it's circling around the JW community. I know you guys will find it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So yeah, guys, just have a great day, and of course I'll be back, and I won't be that long this time. All right, like, share, subscribe.